Hey guys, hey. Well, I am back. It's your girl. Excuse me, guys. I am back. Brandy Janae, aka Queen B. Welcome to Brandy Janae TV. We are back with the Belle Collective Reunion Part 2. It just came on tonight. Carlos King has been having a day, boy. All the mess with Huntsville going on earlier, and then he wraps up Belle Collective tonight, which I know that Belle Collective filmed this reunion, I believe like 6 months ago. Who said that? Which one? It may have been Aikisha, who confirmed that they do film this reunion way in advance, way in advance. And so while everything that was going on in Huntsville earlier, go check that video out. Everything that was going on in Huntsville earlier is all real time, like this is going on right now. And of course, everything with Bill Collective from this reunion has happened 6 months ago or prior, and then we have some developments that we're going to talk about at the end of the show because I feel like there was some things that did happen in during the reunion. Um, and I'm wondering if the decisions that were made at the time that they were made, because these two exits just happened, and considering that everything that did happen happened so long ago, I'm wondering what took place in between that made them actually make that decision, or if everything we saw in this reunion tonight kind of leads to the thought process beginning, and then when the pickup letter come, you just kind of say, oh, thanks but no thanks. And maybe that is the right way to do it, as opposed to just kind of walking off, quitting ahead of time, like you quitting before you even been asked back. So that probably is more of the reason why that time frame happened that way, because again, they filmed this reunion about 6 months ago. So in between the 6 months, within the last week, no, 2 weeks, within the last 2 weeks, two of the Bells have left the show after receiving their pickup letters. Okay, which means they were asked to come back. Anyway, let's get into the reunion. Anyhow, I got some clips for y'all because I'm just excited about being able to do it, and I want to do it more so I can get better and bring y'all the type of content that I want to bring you, okay? And talk about it the way I would like to talk about it. So don't forget to hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, okay? Hit the bell notification also so you can get notified whenever there's a new video. All right, so if you saw the reunion last week, you know it ended off with Miss Antoinette coming back to the couch. Honey, they was playing musical chairs in that studio. And shouts out to Tyler Perry. They did film that reunion at Tyler. Excuse me, guys, I'm talking too fast. Let me slow down. They filmed that reunion at Tyler Perry Studios. So shouts out to Tyler. I think that's pretty dope that they can use Tyler Perry Studios and they don't have to go to New York or any other place. Okay, so big ups. Anyhow, so again, part one left off with Antoinette coming to the couch, and Antoinette and Leticia, they have this like I guess love hate type of relationship, this little banter that they do because they seem to not like each other, but not enough to be saying some of the nasty things that was being drug across that stage tonight. However, when they left off last week, Leticia did throw out that Antoinette is not practicing anymore. Antoinette is a dentist. And I don't really remember much about her from the first season, and I think that's just because she was only there the first season. That first season did not have as many episodes as the other seasons, and so I think it was just kind of easy to fade her out. Anyhow, we pick back up with her, and she explains what's going on with the dentistry. Let me go ahead and put that to the stage so we can listen to what she had to say, and then I'll tell you what I think.
Come on. What I did was created a successful business, and big people came in and was like, "Hey, girl, you interested in selling?" Sold for profit, okay? Antionette, go. So tell me what. Tell me what you're thinking.
When it comes to Men Dental, are you still practicing at Men Dental?
I sold my office for profit about a couple months ago.
So, Antionette, you mentioned that you felt that you were losing money being in these rooms.
I do lose money when I'm filming. I have to push all of my patients down to about 2 to 3 days to make myself available for about 4 days. And then I get here, and it's just a back and forth. I'm not seeing an abundance of endeavors and successes and achievements within their businesses. And so, yeah, I lose money because my first job, real job, is
please, I don't want out of the water. Jesus.
I don't need a side hustle.
So where are things now with you? Are you dating anybody?
Open applications for new hoes and new haters.
Okay, so few things. I just said that Antionette was only there for one season, and I mean, they made it have like 8 episodes. As a matter of fact, I could probably get that information really fast, just to confirm. So this is funny to me, and I think this season we may have saw her twice. I remember seeing her twice, and so I'm confused about why she wanted to insert the filming schedule with why she sold her practice. However, I guess Leticia was right. She's not practicing anymore. And she gave a good explanation. She sold it for profit. Okay, fine. But she did manage to throw a little dig in there with the girls, talking about she don't see them being as successful. Well, I don't know why you want to be around them then. That could be, maybe that's why I don't remember this girl. Because maybe she needs to go ahead and do whatever it is she's been doing. Because if they're not being successful, I'm not really sure why you want to join them. And you're so successful, so I don't understand. So yeah, Antoinette didn't stay out there very long, and nor did she need to, because again, she was not on the season. I think she came around twice, maybe 3 times. And I'm not interested. She hasn't shown me anything to be interested in. However, Carlos King did manage to give her an open invitation before she left the chair. And so it does look like she probably will be coming back for the next season, considering the changes that did take place, because now he has 2 Bells to replace. Moving on to the next thing. So they go right into the fellas coming out. All the husbands come out for a segment by themselves so that they can kind of discuss the issues going on between them. Of course, the fight that happened in the season finale really kind of kicked off with the guys, Glenn and Cliff were kind of, taking little jabs at Willie, and it just escalated really quickly. And Carlos King wanted to find out from JJ what he thought about that, like why he thought everything escalated the way he did. And JJ, he is funny to me. He might be got a little twang to him, same as me, but he is funny and he tell the truth. So let's hear what he had to say.
So the thing is this, though, JJ, where do you think this deep-rooted issue is coming from? Like real talk.
Well, there's a such thing as you can play too much. Because grown men gonna only allow so much, goddamn, that you gonna say to them. Ain't nobody gonna sit here and tell you, goddamn, you a bitch in your face. You goddamn you goddamn, you a Belle, and you just gonna keep digging with that stuff.
I do think what has happened is the digs went too far. And to me,
so not to cut you off,
go ahead.
I get annoyed when he makes a comment talking about my wife and I think we're holier than now.
Okay.
Because I've always kept it a buck with him. Me and Glenn had off-camera separate conversations about where he at and what he wants to do.
Women don't have Glenn. We never have off-camera conversations. We don't ever see them.
Glenn, we don't have heart-to-hearts, bro. We don't have talk.
Okay, so Willie gets into him and Glenn have had personal conversations, like he called it heart to hearts. And I would assume that what he means by that which Glenn has had some issues on the show. Of course, we know him and Leticia have been separated for at least a year. Still doing the back and forth, but was separated for a year. I believe he thought he may have had an outside child. I think that came out after that first season, and that was kind of why they separated. And of course, you see they are back together. That first last season was them kind of rekindling and working things out, and now they seem to be back in a blissful place. So I assume that what Willie is referring to is there were times during that time in which he probably did have conversations with Glenn because does seem to have a successful marriage. It makes sense to me why they would be talking about that. But I think Leticia, her angst for Akeisha is what kind of keeps her saying, like, hey, we don't have his number and they don't ever talk. Like, you don't know, honey. You halfway know what he was doing the whole time. That's why y'all was in the situation y'all was in. I'm not trying to say nothing. I'm just saying, anyhow, moving on. So, let me go back. So with that being said, because it's Cliff and Glenn, and yes, when Cliff and Glenn get together, they kind of like Beavis and Butthead. Like, they think probably not think the same, but I feel like they're from the same area, so they get each other, so they speak the same language, right? And Willie is from Jersey, so they do. It seemed like they kind of poke and pick at him, and probably because Willie's never really picked with them. Cliff mumbles, which that's what he tells him, because Cliff asks, "Well, why don't you like me?" Cliff admittedly doesn't like Willie. But Willie is like, well, you mumble a lot, and when you're drinking, it gets a little. Basically, he go too far, and his ideas about men and women are dated, and they are, because him and Latrice had their whole situation last season, where it appeared that he was very controlling of her, and with the age difference, it kind of just didn't look good. It doesn't look good on anybody. So that's what Willie was kind of referring to when it came to Cliff. But Cliff is not moving. Cliff say, I'm mumbling that. Like, you just don't like me because I'm mumbling. But I think it's just I think that is just dialect. And that's why I think Cliff and Glenn, do the little poking with Willie. Willie probably is a little too serious, but they do play too much. I agree. They play too much, and they was playing too much that night, and that's why everything went the way it did. Which I don't know why they're not coming to say my bad. They standing 20 toes down because it's two of them, and they stuck their heels in the mud whenever it came to this situation. Which again is another reason why I could understand Akeisha and Willie deciding to exit, because what am I going to keep coming here for? And especially like I am a 1,000% believer that, and it's something that kind of boils my blood while we're watching reality shows or reality stars. They get on the reunion, they're going back and forth with their castmates, and they're talking about how much money they make, how much that they don't need this and don't need that, and yet you continue to show up. Now, mind you, it's the easiest money you're gonna make. So I feel like I understand continuing to show up, right? Because it is the easiest money you can make. Outside of, I guess, the mental anguish with having to argue with somebody, or the possibility of always having to argue with somebody, that could be a lot. However, the money you get made, getting paid, or even the access that it gives you, because I'm I'm not in anybody's pockets. I don't know what Carlos King has. I just know that it's a new show. He has a new budget. I'm no, with all of those things, and it's on OWN. And so while he has brought OWN back to life, I don't think that the average, I don't think they're getting paid the type of money some of the reality stars are getting paid, and they're definitely not getting Bravo money. We know, of course not. So with that being said, that is money you can walk away from without that, for the headache. It's kind of like, and this might not be enough. But like I say, I can understand the access that it gives you by being on the show. So if you do have any type of business, that's why a lot of people come on wanting to start a business, because they want to use the notoriety to to help push their product. What they call it, product hawking. But yeah, I mean, we talk about it. We might make fun of some people, but at the end of the day, you would be crazy not to. You better get some type of product on the market if you get your butt on a reality show, especially something like this. And if it's popular, yeah, get you some t-shirts, get you something. That's why we talked about Sheree for so long, because for as long as she wanted that fashion line, she could have had some socks out or something, honey. You paying for that house one season at a time. But I'm not gonna knock her, because at least she did it. At least she did it. And so that is a lesson. That is a huge lesson, is that when you have a dream, you just get to it. It might take you a little longer than some, but you just get to it. We still gonna make fun of her in the meantime. Okay. We still gonna point it out. But either way, she did it and we happy for her. Back to the Belle Collective. Okay. So after they go back and forth with why they don't like each other, then we talk about JJ's gift. Got Willie a gift, which was coochie in a can. Um, ew, which I guess is something that can take the place of. Carlos was very interested in that, and as a matter of fact, he put it back in his dressing room. I don't know if he's gonna get on one of his Monday Night Lives and tell us if he used it, but this is the thing. This is the thing, especially with the panel full of women, because by this time the women have joined the men. And so he like I say, he seemed very interested in it, and he's like, "Oh my God, I think he stuck his finger in it or something." Of course, they had to blur that out. But he's like, "Is this what it feel like?" And I just wish somebody would have maybe told him, like, "Yeah, maybe not," like, so that if he does go and try it, that's not. I don't know. I don't know. Strange. I didn't really want to be in that conversation. But here we are, and I'm giving it to you because that's what we do over here. I got a podcast, and it's called Who Asked for This? Did nobody ask for it? But I'm going to give it to you anyway, just like that coochie in the can. All right, moving on. So like I say, the husbands and the wives are now out together. And at this time, they just going couple to couple, checking in with them, talking about the season. So we get to JJ, and of course the issue with JJ, so Gucci is his wife and Selena is his ex-wife. Selena is the mother of his children, and between last season and this season there has been a huge rift because of an altercation that Selena and so Gucci had, that the kids, they are adult children, they are adult girls, young girls, but adult girls. Um, and they kind of, pick their mom's side, rightfully so. I don't think anybody expected less. But in the meantime, it caused a rift between them and their dad. So they weren't speaking to their dad. Of course, weren't speaking to Soguchi. Maybe one of them when we got back to this season. So they check in with them to see what's going on. Carlos King kind of pries a little bit into JJ's tactic with when they went to did they go to New Orleans? I can't remember where they went. But the girls, Selena and Soguchi, were there together. And even though there was a restraining order, that's some side tea. Because they did not discuss, I don't believe they discussed the restraining order on the show. If they did, it was in that first half of the season when Selena first showed up, because they did just keep they like kind of just propped her in. Nobody warned her or anything, because I think she ended up leaving, and she did mention that she couldn't be in the same space with her because of the restraining order. So that's another ding, number two, right? In the reason why so Gucci probably left. However, back to Carlos getting in JJ's business about why he, really was kind of upset that So Gucci took Selena to the side and had that conversation. Well, JJ just said that he felt like he didn't want them to speak because he thought that it would go left. Carlos says, but it didn't go left, which it didn't. They had a very good conversation amongst women, grown women. And it was nice. It seemed like I thought that JJ would be okay with that, right? But he was like, no, I told you I didn't want you speaking to her. Like he just got his heels in the sand about it. And so he almost told Carlos where he could go. Where he could go also with his opinion, because he said, I'm gonna deal with things the way I deal with them, and that's the way he thought he should deal with them. All right, JJ, we're gonna let you deal with it. But in Carlos's in his defense, I would have to agree with Carlos where it comes to that situation. JJ does seem to be not the problem, but he is not in any way helping the problem, because the problem really does seem to be some type of, and I'm gonna use the word jealousy. Now Selena gonna say so Gucci jealous of her, and so Gucci gonna say Selena is jealous of her. I'm gonna say somebody envious of somebody. And if you go back to my video last week, I said that, well, it came out in the first part of the reunion that Selena was asked to be on the show originally. Now, Selena was not on the first season, nor was So Gucci. So Gucci came, I believe, third season. And Selena entered that same season as a friend. Okay, we didn't know they got into that altercation, and that's how we found out. Um, Anyhow, back to what I think the issue is. So we find out from Selena that she was asked to be on the show first originally. Her son was unalived, and she could not join the show. So she gave JJ and Sophia, aka So Gucci, as people that could come on. And so to her, that is how they came. Everybody seemed to agree with that. Even So Gucci and JJ, they seem to agree with that is the way, that is the course of the events. I think Selena feels like because she passed it on and gave So Gucci's name for it, that So Gucci is supposed to give her, like, I don't know, be nice to her, give her something back for it. You know how they go. You know how people are. A lot of times people, they feel like they did something for you, and especially if they're not thinking that it was going to be successful. Yeah, she probably looking for she probably looked for an invitation to film, because that's how she got there. Latrice gave her an invitation to her grand opening, and so that's how So Gucci and Selena got into the altercation, because they came to the opening together. So I feel like at the very minimum, maybe that's what Selena was looking for, a thank you, or invitation to come film. However, now she's a part of the cast, and that seemed to create a huger problem outside of the altercation. And so, like I say, I think it is something somebody thinks somebody owes somebody. Um, and clearly, because there's no reason for you guys to be at it the way you are. They've been divorced for quite some time. And Selena, like I said, she did say that she thinks So Gucci is jealous of her. She said if she didn't have to have anything. What she said, I could be in a paper bag. So Gucci said, well, you look like you are. I'm telling y'all, the insults was flying tonight, baby. I don't know what's gonna go on with them Bells when they try to get back together. And film. And thank God it wasn't Marie, though. I know Marie probably say the same thing. Like, this was my taming season yet. Because usually it's Marie into it with Latrice, or Marie into it with Tambra. Tambra was sitting over there chilling too. And funny enough, they was chilling together. They done made up this season finally. So they were sitting over just watching the ping pong event, watching the fireworks go. Anyway, so now we have to get to Leticia and Glenn. And so Glenn quit his job during the season. Of course he did, right? What we've seen Glenn do on the show is embarrass his wife and quit his job. All right. Now let's go back to let me take you back to the end of last week's show where Leticia is antagonizing Antionette. And part of her antagonizing Antionette is to tell her, get a man. And let me just say, getting a man is not a read. And especially not a read from a lady who married to a man who, as soon as you get on the television, he got some baby he needed to be DNA tested for. Yeah, you get him in. That's what Antoinette should have told her. But since she is married, that really would have hit home. But that's why she needs to keep it to herself, because I would have told her that. I'd have told her, you get him in, honey. At least a better one than that. And if that's the type of man you telling me to go get, I'm cool. Okay? I'll go get these Benjamins. That man. How about that? Anyway, but so I just wanted to go there real quick because I forgot to mention that in last week's episode, and then they showed it again, and that was the perfect time because yeah, that's what we seen Glenn do. So he quit his job this season, quit his job in the middle of Leticia needing to have a biopsy, so she was worried about that because he quit his job. That means no health insurance. She is an entrepreneur. And I'm sure that she had not been, purchasing her own health insurance, of course, because he worked. However, her biopsy came back fine. It is benign. So we are thankful and grateful to hear that. Glenn says that he has started his business. He has a drop-off business. Is that what he called it? I'll have to, he has a truck and they picking up, dropping off. Oh my God, I'm loving it. Well, he said he quit. Now that's what he said on the show. He said he quit. And I tell you what, I believe he did. I believe he did. He didn't quit. He didn't get fired. He did not get fired. He definitely quit. And he quit because his wife was an entrepreneur before the show, but I'm certain that she's probably leveled up in quite a few ways since the show aired, and so he figured he gonna live off his wife. He ain't gotta work as hard as he had been working to take care of them like that. She getting it, and so she gonna help him get it, which yeah, that's what I'm saying about Leticia. How you telling somebody to get a man? I'm kind of, I'm kind of thinking she might be on the market. She'll be on the market looking for one herself, but she is married. And Glenn, you be trying to be sweet. You funny enough, but I'm just saying, in the man department, you might need to step your game up. And hopefully the business is doing well. Leticia says she done helped him out. She said she got the contracts ready. And as soon as she got the contracts out, they was coming. They was coming to her. So she made it sound like the business is doing good and that she didn't have to do a whole lot. That she didn't have to do a whole lot to get there. So we're going to wish them well with that business because God knows we don't want to have to see her taking care of Glenn also in the list of things that we've seen her husband do on this show. Let's get on to why Leticia. Before I move on to that, we got to talk about the clip. Now, I don't have this as a clip, but it struck a hair with Leticia, as it should. So Gucci came for it because during their segment, and we're talking about Glenn quitting the job and all that, the clip comes up where they're talking about he had a celebrity crush. His celebrity crush is Megan Good. So they're on the bus going to, I believe they did go to New Orleans. So they on the bus and they just talking like, who's your celebrity crush? And so he like, yes, Megan Good, and she be DMing me. And so, they laughing like, of course, this is not Megan Good DMing you. So Leticia say, no, it was a fan page, basically blowing it off. Okay, it's a fan page. Of course, it's not Megan Good. Of course, it's not Megan Good. You didn't really need to sell that one. But the fact that it's a fan page, the fact that your husband came on here like being a cheater, the fact, yeah, all of the optics was just so Gucci kind of says under her breath, say, well, you can't cheat with that. Which yes, you can. That I mean, you can't cheat with Megan Good if she was actually in your inbox, because I'm sure she's just trying to find out where to get the fish from. No, let me stop. But the fact that you sitting up cheesing and grinning ear to ear, talking about somebody in your DM and it's a Megan Good fan page, that didn't sit right. So when So Gucci threw that out there, like, oh, you can't cheat with that, Leticia said, what? What'd you say? What'd you say? She get real upset about that, honey. It got stuck in the chest. Again, girl, honey. Y'all, I hope they in some counseling. Cause those little digs, they gonna always get to her. Cause again, what have we seen Glenn do on this show besides embarrass his wife? And I know that's in the past. It's in the past. But quitting his job did not make that look any better. That he should have kept his job. A man who don't work, don't eat. Okay. Anyway, so now let's get into Leticia. We had some unseen footage. I'm gonna go ahead and play that with Leticia and Latrice talking about why they think Aikisha shouldn't be on the show. Mm-mm. Let me see. Maybe I'm not adding it. Maybe I'm not adding it. Well, that really sucks because it is unseen footage. And basically in that package, so this is after the melee at the grand opening for Taste. Leticia and Latrice meet up to kind of talk about it. Of course, now they have bonded together over the dislike of Aikisha and feeling like Aikisha and Willie are the ones that like started it. That's their stance on it. Let me see if I can pull this back up really quick. Let me see if I can go get it again. Because Latrice does something in this package that I don't really like. And I mean, so I'm here to talk and give my opinion, and don't come for me about it, because I think that I don't like when people use bad situations in the middle of something really messy in order to kind of stand on the bad situation where you leave a person to feel like they can't speak on it or question it. I mean,
Was that?
basically.
I think it's just one bad apple, and that's Aikisha.
Not only did she not reach out to me, but you stole my nephew's phone on top of that. We're tracking the phone. The phone is at her house.
Wait, what? Latrice comes sending me this long ass text message. She said, on Monday, June 10th, I have contacted you regarding my nephew's lost cell phone. I have requested that it be returned. Before things escalate, let me know what's up. And it goes to say, I better tread lightly, you antique-faced dummy.
Is this not her address in Jackson?
Oh, my God.
In the midst of the altercation, my nephew ended up losing his phone. We tracked the phone, and it ended up being at Aikisha's house. And it's an issue because my nephew died. So, bitch, I want his phone.
Okay, so that's unseen footage that did not air during the season. I think the only part we did see, we saw them meeting, and we saw them saying that they both thought Aikisha should leave, the Apple comment, but we did not see the portion about the nephew's phone and about her nephew being unalived. So that's the part that I'm speaking about. It's like, Okay, she stole his phone. It was a fight going on. Um, yeah, I don't think that's the right terminology, number one. Or and then to go in with, and now I need his phone back. I'm looking for his phone because, and you tell that like devastating information, and you do it so flippantly, but you got this angst, it's this need, right? So she sends that text message to Aikisha, very nasty. And so then we get back to um we get back. I'm gonna get back to the show, but then we get back to the couch, and so of course we give condolences about her nephew, but this is the way that it's explained. Okay, everything happened at the restaurant, the melee. They get into an altercation, and it looked like it was bad. Especially, we only saw like a portion of it, but Aikisha got a bunch of family. I mean, everybody was in it, so all of this makes sense, except for some of what Latrice has to say. But anyhow, so a lot of stuff going on. Couldn't find the phone. And apparently one of the producers found the phone and thought it was part of Aikisha's team. So this is how she went and looked up the location. Because if you're talking about 3 weeks later, you contact Aikisha to say, hey, we've been tracking my nephew's phone. You have the nephew, you got his phone, it's at your house, and you better give it to me. This is 3 weeks later. If somebody lose their phone, I would think that it would take them sooner than 3 weeks. Now, she does tell us that her nephew passed a week after that thing happened at the opening. She did not say what happened, okay? Even at a week's time, seems to me that you would have tracked it in that time frame and then still contacted Aikisha in that time frame. And again, so now after the fact and everything that's going on with your nephew, I understand why none of that was important during that point in time. But now we at the third week. Is somebody still charging the phone? How are you still tracking it at this point, right? I don't know. Again, not to say that she doesn't have a really good reason for wanting his phone. It definitely is. But Latrice has had this history of, because that's what happened between her and Marie. Or was it Marie kind of accusing her? But anyhow, but she just has had this history of being able to make it somebody else's fault in a sense. I think that this is unfortunate, and his phone got lost. And yes, stole is a big accusation. Stole is a huge accusation on all levels, right? And Latrice can't be talking her husband, and embarrassed her through the whole show. Okay, he only been good these last two moments. He only been good these last two moments, or seasons. And they really not seasons, because seasons sometimes imply years. But yeah, he been embarrassing her. But yeah, I think Latrice went too far with that. And there goes reason number three why I'm sure Aikisha had no problem exiting stage left. Because it's just this huge snowball. And again, nobody is taking any accountability for the part they played. Like, Glenn and Cliff really did egg that man on for no reason. So Aikisha takes it there and she says, well, how I end up, getting in it, what made me mad is I hear Glenn tell Cliff, like, oh, he just jealous, talking about Willie. He just jealous because you got a young hot wife and he got Aikisha. And I agree with Aikisha. What is that supposed to mean? Of course, Glenn cleans it up. Oh, I love everybody. I love Black women, and everybody up here is beautiful, and they are. But yeah, what did you mean by that? What is it? Oh, he got Akeisha. Now, what's funny about that also is they seem to not like Willie and Akeisha because they think what they say it is, they think they're better than us. Glenn, in his confessional with Leticia, he kind of mimics the Grey Poupon commercial. Like, do you happen to have any Grey Poupon? That used to be my commercial when I was a kid. That commercial was so funny. But that's, like kind of like, oh, they the uppity, black folks. And the funny thing with that is, whoever said that? Like, I love when people do that, because it kind of shows what you're thinking. So it seems like you think that they better than you in some type of way. And is it because of the way they articulate? Is it because, is that what it is? Maybe you should be honest about that, Glenn. But where was I at before I ran off there? Okay. Okay, so yeah, so now Akeisha and Leticia are kind of going back and forth. Now let me see. I think my clips are a little bit out of order since I had to pull up that other one. Let me see where we are. Is it this one next? I'm gonna pull it up and let's see. Okay, something is wrong. Maybe my connection is bad. Maybe I am having a bad connection. Because I don't know why it's not working like it's supposed to. I think I might be having a bad connection, y'all. Let's see. Let me go back to it. So yeah, Leticia, excuse me, like that Latrice and that Letice, honey, Leticia and Akeisha kind of go back and forth. And I feel like Leticia has always had a problem with Akeisha since she came on the season. And she did kind of throw out there, like, where the keys now? Where the keys to Ferris Street? She got upset with Akeisha because Akeisha did come in very boastful about what her and her family's connection is to Ferris Street. Listen, I feel like if you can walk it like you talk it, then boast. I don't know why that bothers her, because it was your idea to get everybody together and build up Ferris Street. So why would you have a problem with someone coming in, and because they seem to have more connections than you kind of like, ugh, she thinks she better than somebody, like, that's kind of giving, hater vibes. So, I feel like that's what Leticia's problem has been with Akeisha. I think Akeisha has tried to stay nice and just stay the course of what the goal was, because that does seem to be important to Akeisha. But Leticia, it's that Queen Bee effect. Leticia has planted herself as the Queen Bee. And one thing, I call myself Queen Bee. I don't have it in my name plate right now because I want to build up my channel. But once we build it up, that's what it'll be. That's what it is in people's phone. Who got my phone number? I am Queen Bee. But this is the thing about being Queen Bee. Everybody is a Queen Bee. You better be a Queen Bee in your household. It's room for all Queen Bees. What are you talking about? So that's like, but this is what happens on the reality shows, Housewives included. Like, every time you get this group of ladies together, somebody has to be the Queen Bee. And generally there is somebody that's a Queen Bee, just because not everybody does have specific Queen Bee energy. Doesn't make them less. I'm just saying, not everybody has it. But Leticia is like fighting for it, because I feel like with the status and everything, Queen Bee might go to Akeisha. I'm sorry, Leticia, because I like you and everything, but yeah, you seem to be like kicking and scratching for that title. And you might be a little premature about it. Let me see. Let me go ahead and pull up this clip. Let's see if this is the clip I was looking for. Okay, guys.
Leticia and Latrice, why do you feel that Akeisha should be kicked out of the collective?
It's that outside of this, we don't see Akeisha but the 3 months that she's here filming. And when she's here, she's pushing her own agenda, and that's what it's been about. from day one.
Isn't that what we all do?
We're all here to push our agenda.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
try
what
to
we
do
all
that, because what you can't do, you can't out-talk me, and you know that.
We know that.
We know
And
that.
we
But
know.
you try to.
That's all you do
try
is talk.
to. That's all you do.
Is talk. Everybody here knows it. And you talking about sisterhood.
Please.
I've had conversations with other people on here about how you lie.
I've had them about you.
I've had conversations with Latrice how you lie. When Tamara talks about how you lie.
Stop.
Okay, so you see from that little clip kind of what I'm talking about. Like, I feel like Leticia is like wanting to put Akeisha in her place in a sense. And that's what the problem is, because it's like, okay, I started this group and you came in behind. So like, pipe down, girl. I don't like that energy, because listen, if, like I say, if she got the connections to do at least what the point was, which was get property on Ferris Street, build that back up, then you really should be trying to work harder and together with her. But too late now, because Akeisha is not coming back. Now, I don't think that means she's going to abandon Ferris Street, because she took the ladies to some property that she has already kind of bought and started on, which I think that's what started with Leticia kind of looking at Akeisha with the stink eye, because I think she said, "Oh, I maybe she was, maybe I ain't gonna say she was just talking, but she didn't have the resources that Akeisha has, and so I think it just kind of made her a little envious, which is sad, because you should be happy and you should be glad to be in a group that, you know what I mean, can help uphold her, uplift her, and be like, yeah, that's my girl. I know her, right? Right. It was my idea and we decided to do this together. Hello. But that's too much like right. We got to keep the drama going so they can keep getting these seasons, honey. So moving on, Carlos asked Marie Monroe, as she called herself, like, what did she think? Like, basically, because Leticia basically said nobody liked Akeisha, and so he's like, well, hey. So Tamara's like, no, I don't think so. I think she's good for the show. Of course she would, right? And then Marie, she agreed. She's like, I really, like, and even if she did something wrong, like everybody has, like, so I don't think what she's done is any reason for her to be kicked off the show. And that's right. I love when people can have a difference of agreement, but no, right is right and wrong is wrong. Leticia has a hair up her butt for Akeisha, and has since Akeisha stepped on the scene. Akeisha know it, and that's why she is up out of here, because that doesn't make sense. To come back to a show and you fighting everybody when all you trying to do is get everybody together. I'll leave them alone and let them fight on their own too. We don't blame you, Akeisha. We don't blame you one bit. Like I say, the low blows was going all over the place, honey. They was talking up under their breath. They really are at odds. And so, like I say, Akeisha and So Gucci, both of them leaving, I think that was a very good decision, both for the show and both for them, for their mental health, for everything. Because like Willie said, this show is not lining up with him and his family's with their goals and things anymore. And so I think that's enough reason to move on. That's more than enough. Um, let's go. What's next? Okay, so on my notes, the last thing I got to was about Latrice explaining about her nephew's phone. And then Akeisha kind of confirming that it took about 2 weeks for them to get that information. So at the end of the day, I'm not sure that ever got resolved. I was, like I said, my only question is, how are you still tracking this phone 3 weeks later? Like, is somebody plugging it up? And yeah, and then it doesn't make sense. Akeisha doesn't strike me as the person that would not just have his phone and not give it to you, but be plugging it up for some reason so that so that you can keep seeing where it's at. I don't know. She doesn't strike me as the type of person that would play that type of game. And not to say that Latrice doesn't have a reason to think that, because she might know some people that will, and it's understandable why she might have that train of thought. But Aikisha really doesn't strike me as that type of petty. So that's about where we end, where things end. Because we didn't even, I think we got with Monroe in that first episode. So yeah, that's about where things end. We hoping that So Gucci and JJ and Selena and the girls are able to mend their relationship. And Carlos ends the reunion with a toast. Now that I found was interesting as well, which was the fact that he brought a bell out. So let me do the toast. I thought, well, I did. I don't need to show the toast. I'm gonna just show the bell. He brought a bell out for Selena. Now, interesting enough, so Gucci was like, I didn't get a bell, and so I'm like, ding, here we go again, which is why So Gucci probably, and not when I say the why, what people don't understand is that sometimes like these tiny offenses happen, right? And then people blow them off, don't pay them attention, don't acknowledge them, even if you bring them up. And so it's like a tiny little scar, a tiny little poke. And then eventually it becomes something big. So that's what I mean by when I say that could be just another reason for her why it is. She like, you know what? Let me get up out of here because you had me around this lady anyway, knowing we had these problems. You really didn't care about anything that was going on and that it concerned my real life family and my real life children. And then you come and bring this lady a bell out in front of all of us, and you ain't got none one of us no bell, and this lady barely been on. Are you kidding me? I felt some type of way watching her get it. Let's see if this video don't play. I'm not gonna worry about pulling it up because again, I'm not sure. Oh, see, and it's like it'll start, but then it won't finish. I don't know what's up with that, but I'll figure it out. This is my second time using this, so forgive me if I don't get it right. I really wanted that to go better. But it's okay. So yeah, that's what that scene was anyway. Her kind of saying, "Well, I didn't get one," and I was just like, like that. Carlos being messy because that's like a parent. You know what I mean? You don't do that to the kids. You don't go get one kid that something real nice and special, make it a big deal in front of all of the other kids, and then doggone well you ain't had nothing for them. He go skirt off the stage really quick, like laughing, blowing it off. And maybe it's not a big deal, but maybe you should find out if it is. I mean, it's a bell, but yeah, you took the time to get it engraved and welcome to, Belle Collective, Selena. Like, right. She barely got there. She ain't do nothing this season. She ain't even have to talk while she been there. The only thing that she really had to talk about was her issue with So Gucci and JJ. And there it is again. The reason why So Gucci decided to leave. Because guess what? If I'm not here, then you ain't got no choice but to talk about whatever you got going on. And not me. So with that being said, now Carlos said, he thanked the ladies with their sparkling cider or sparkling grape juice for a fantastic season. And I thought, boy, he did not know that 6 months later he was going to be losing two of his bells because he probably just assumed that as long as you are inviting them back, they are coming. And so I guess maybe that was an okay assumption, but let me tell you what I had to do because I was on Carlos King's live the Monday that Aikisha quit, okay? But let me tell you what happened. I get on Carlos King's live that night, and I was about an hour late. I was about an hour late because I think I don't know, I might have probably was cleaning up. I don't know if I was finishing my Christmas decorations. I was doing something, and I didn't get on right when he started. And sometimes I don't. I don't go on every week. It's, I get on when I can. That's it. So I get on. It was about 8 o'clock ish. And when I come in, I'm trying to think exactly where they were. Because it's Monday nights. I think they were talking about Married to Medicine and Real Housewives of Potomac. So they had to been talking about Potomac still. Anyway, as the live is going on, I'm doing my comments, and one of my comments get highlighted as for the subject we was talking about. So y'all, I am so excited about that, right? I done screenshot everything. So finish the live up, get off. I'm ready to make me a little post like, oh yeah, my comment was highlighted and I wasn't in, but whatever minutes, I'm all geek. I jump on TikTok, and don't you know that's the first video I see is this one right here. And I thought to myself, now I can't believe I missed it all because I was late getting into the live, and I missed seeing that live. But don't worry, I went to Millie Chan's page and pulled it up for you. I'll have her tagged in the description, okay? So let's look at this because it was too funny. Akeisha knows I love a good like nice nasty type of, like where like you nice about it, but you kind of being nasty too at the same time. Like, I don't know, something I like that. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's your girl Millie Chan. Yeah, I literally just walked into my mother's home, right? And so I sat down, and Color Me Entertained messaged me, and she told me what had happened on Carlos's show. So I said, let me hurry up because he will delete it. Now, he was talking to Willie, and I told you all that earlier. So Akeisha had come on, and Carlos was like, we've already done yours, and Willie didn't interrupt you, so, whatever. And she was like, I had something to say. He was like, I have no questions for you. She was like, I'll just wait. So she was telling him that she and So Gucci could have some things coming up, like some things about heart health fair, menopausal health, and all that kind of stuff, and a brunch or two, right? But then, baby, let's get into it.
Heart health, vascular health, and correlating how menopause associates with heart health. Yeah. So we're going to do that. And but anyway, I just wanted to step in. I am excited that Belle Collective has been picked up for another season. I got my pickup letter. And,
I know that's right.
we were excited about that, and we want to congratulate Carlos, and we want to congratulate the show, and thank you for allowing us to be a part of the platform, but unfortunately, we will not be returned. So, just wanted to say that. The clones are done.
Pieces, y'all. Ooh. Look, it looked like the whole.
So thank y'all and Merry Christmas. And our attorney has sent a letter to the attorneys of Kingdom Reign. So just want to let y'all know, because I didn't want Carlos to find out any other way.
Well, listen, thank you so much for everything you brought to the show. You have a friend in me, a family in me as well. And anything you guys need, let me know. And as you know, anytime you want to return, the door will always be open for you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Merry Christmas to everybody, and thank you.
Much love to your beautiful family.
You guys, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how that happened 2 days before Christmas. Merry Christmas, Carlos. No, but and when I say nice nasty, like she said, like, okay, ain't no other way to put it. Like, we not coming back. And that happened to be the episode that Melee did air. So, and again, this was 6 months ago. I can only assume that between them filming that reunion and getting the pickup letter, I'm guessing that maybe they just didn't want to quit prematurely. Like, there's no need to quit if you're not asked back, right? So wait for the pickup letter. What do y'all think about that when it comes down to housewives and reality shows, because now this is, I said this earlier in my earlier live, Carlos King got to do some management cleanup in his kingdom reign, honey, because what does Mama D say? The kingdom is amok. They running amok over there. And you might need some human resources, or you might need somebody over there to be handling some of the things going on. Because to me, this is unprecedented for a reality show. It's hard. It is hard for any of the housewives to get anybody to believe that they quit, simply because none of them seem to quit in those types of ways. I don't know if it's written in their contracts about how they have to go about, not signing a contract or quitting, for lack of better words. But Carlos, for me, is the first time I've seen cast members just like, we announcing it on Instagram. And when I say we announcing it on Instagram, um, because a lot of course, everybody makes their announcement on Instagram, but I guess I mean before you even know, or you finding out at the same time that everybody else is finding out. Generally, when the housewives, if they're not coming back, they've already worked that out with the production, with Andy, with whoever. And so when it's being said that they're not coming back, it's because the contracts are out. Generally, you're not coming back because you wasn't asked back, again. Or so yeah, I guess that maybe I answered my own question just thinking about that out loud. Was that they did wait for the pickup letters to just say, well, no, thank you. But and again, I can't blame them. We're gonna move on to So Gucci. So that was December 23rd when Akeisha announced that she was leaving, and So Gucci followed right behind her. When did this? So Gucci did this maybe this Monday. I'm not sure. So Gucci and Akeisha are good friends. On the reunion, they did say they were going to be having some things coming up. So again, it makes sense. Not to say you got to do what your friends do, because we heard Robin and Giselle. Giselle said, "I'm not going to mess up my bag because you got fired," and of course not. But I do believe that they both were in the same position in this group of women. And so like So Gucci, um this is her announcement about leaving. Watching the reunion episode was very hard to sit through. That again, this is after the first reunion aired, part one, especially knowing where my family currently stands. I was disappointed in my actions because even though I had my reasons, it should have never been handled or addressed on this platform from the beginning. I take full accountability for allowing the entertainment of this show to ruin the integrity of my family. I have apologized publicly and privately to Selena for my part in this entire production. We are moving on and moving forward, putting our family first and focusing on its healing, on it, our healing. Okay, I kept it the way I had it. All the S's, Sophia, Santriel, Selena, Sanjay, Star, and Sky, are solid. I do know that in order for my family to completely heal, someone will have to exit stage left, and I have decided that will be me. I am pleased to say that I received my renewal letter for a new season, but the Williams will not be returning to Belle Collective. And listen, after the season, I cannot blame her. And even after the reunion, again, they sit in this place. It's just like what I was saying about Mel in the earlier live. At a certain point, and especially when you're talking about an ensemble cast, you have to be getting along with somebody, and it can't just be the one that you're closest to. Like you have to be able to interact with the other part members of the group. And even if that means that you arguing with them, you have to be able to integrate with them. And I do agree with So Gucci that the things that was going on with the family, it does seem like that's what I said. He must need some human resources or something over there, because that did seem to go too far. some of the stuff that went on, the way that it did, it should not have. I know she did speak out about it during the season. I didn't look at the live, so I don't know exactly what her wording was, but there was talk about just not feeling like she was being protected. Again, there has been said that there was a restraining order on Selena, and they go to a dance class, and here Selena comes walking in. Like, hey, like, the boundary was not respected at all, not just by maybe not Selena, but by the people you work for. And I would have to agree, even though they are reality stars, they're at work. And like, I don't expect to ever go into, when I was working in the office, there's not a day that I expected to walk in the office and have to, have that type of contention at the place that I work. And there's nobody that would try to rectify it. And as a matter of fact, in a reality TV scene, you actually have people, throwing gasoline on the fire as opposed to trying to put it out. Because of course, the more drama, the more people want to see it. So yeah, I think that's a good move for both of them. I think they were good additions to the show, but if we go back to Leticia, Latrice, uh, I was about to say Monroe, Marie, Tambra, and of course, like I said, I have the feeling that Antionette is coming back. Then they just go back to their first season cast, and I think that that's fine. I think that that's fine. Maybe, and I think that a lot of the drama that they had, Marie and Latrice seemed to be cordial. She done fed her a second burger. Another burger came out for her that Marie supposedly cooked for her. So with that being said, if it goes back to them, that's the original cast, they come back, they all seem to be in a good place. Then maybe we could just get back to them working on Ferris Street or moving on to what the next project is. So I'm looking, well, Carlos says he's on vacation, and I'm guessing he on vacation for the month because he said he was taking Lisa Ray's advice. She said, honey, we vacation on the weekend. She vacation for a month. I was like, oh, okay. I can't wait to get to that level either, honey. Take me away for the whole month. So, I can't wait to see how he handles it, but I do think he's always going to be diplomatic. I think Carlos I think he just wants to put his content out. And who's ever, on the ride is on the ride. Speaking of, Miss Melody took Love and Marriage Huntsville out of the bio. So you heard it here first. Now, this channel ain't got that many subscribers, and y'all better go ahead and subscribe, because when I'm telling you that I know things because I am a reality TV like expert, okay? And the formula is all the same when it comes to these ensembles. I'm telling you. So there's a way to predict what's going on and what's going to happen before it even happened. You just got to be paying attention. And if you subscribe to this channel, you're going to get the information before it even come out. But let me tell you, I'm telling you, I'm going to go back to my podcast. I said it in my podcast, Love and Marriage Huntsville, the mid-season review. I said it in that podcast, and I think that was the mid-season review. So that was over a month ago, I think. And so I said it then. I said, I don't see Mel coming back. I see her transitioning. And the reason for her transition, same as Mariah on Married to Medicine. When you can't get along with anybody on the cast, there's nobody for you to film with. Even if they don't tell you you have to go, like Mariah happened to be told and ushered on out the door. you can see it for yourself and you move on, right? So I do think that it's Mel moving on. And I think that Mel has come to the realization, especially now that Sonny is kind of saying small things. I don't know if they can sue her or not. She did say she was under contract and there's, wasn't much she could say. But when she is out of the contract, she's supposed to be trying to release whatever tea it is she has. And she probably does have some because she had been a producer. So her putting out that Ariane showed up to one of the scenes to film back in, I believe, 22. Hey, that's something that Mel would really get upset about because it has been said that Mel refused to have her come on. And of course, we know Carlos wanted her to be on. Of course, Carlos has said it also that he was respecting Mel by that. But of course, because here we go. If you can't have a formula in which you say you follow the story and then you're not following the story, but it is because Mel doesn't, refuse to have her own. And I can't blame her. Like, this my show. And when I say this my show, like, I brought it to you, we sold it together. You know what I mean? Like, while he's the production, she's the creator. It was her show that she brought to him. So I get it. But again, here we are, and where Mel is not talking to many of the people on the cast. Every time she does get with them and is in a group with them, something is going wrong. Or she is putting out this energy that is I don't think of Mel as a negative person. Let me put that disclaimer out. But Mel does seem to have some hurt and bitterness when she's sitting down with her cast. I think she's honest about the fact that she doesn't feel like maybe a lot of her cast supported her while she was going through her divorce and things. I think she's been very clear and honest about that. But even just moving forward, I really didn't like how she did what she did with Kimmy and Maurice and insinuating about the lipstick. Even if you did see it, I agree with Kimmy. It was a better way to come to her and say it. And she does, Mel, seem to just really have this desire to see one of those ladies between Kimmy and now let me get the next name. Marceau and Letitia. Okay. Honey. Letitia. Baby. It's Letitia, and Latrice. Okay. Tisha. She wants to see one of them hurt. She wants to see one of their husbands have done something wrong. And I don't understand her wanting to see that. And I know if ain't nobody gonna give her this pocket, but I know that she would say, no, that's not true, but you way too involved, like you way too concerned about it. You way too involved about if they are or if they're not. And what I do understand is because of what her husband did, them being friends, and what her ex-husband, what her ex-husband Martell has said, I find it easy for her to feed into that because of what he was doing. Listen, I said it earlier and I'm gonna say it again. If anything is going on with Marceau, whoever it is he fooling with, they know their place. And whoever it is he fooling with was not that girl that was on Ariane and Martell's YouTube. She was somebody they found. And she was somebody they found because on the live that Martell and Ariane did, here's Ariane talking about she making a cat call to anybody on the live. Hey, if you got a story about going to Las Vegas or anywhere with Marceau, why don't you hit me up? Is that how we vetting the people? That's how we know for sure that girl ain't for real. But they are way to invest it for them to not have some type of information. But whatever it is, he did it. He got them people in place. Them people not trying to come and expose him. And Tisha is happy living her soft life, and I think we should let her. I think Mel should let her. You know, don't be sad. Get glad. Okay, let her live her soft life. Somebody should. Shoot, somebody should. Don't you think? Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Okay, yes, Isaiah, I am loving StreamYard. I'm getting used to it. This is my second live. I'm going to go live again. So we're going live Monday at 2 p.m. so we can recap Real Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine. And I want to go live Wednesday. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you can be notified when another video is up. I appreciate y'all for joining me. I'm gonna figure out how to work this thing out. And honey, y'all gonna get sick of me, but I'm gonna bring you all the tea, honey, because that's exactly what I've been wanting to do. We enjoyed Belle Collective. They had a pretty decent season. We're gonna be sad to see Akeisha and So Gucci go, but I do think it is for the best. And you know, if Carlos King can bring that original cast back together, it might just kind of take away a lot of the animosity, because the girls that's left outside of Akeisha and So Gucci, they all seem to be getting along. And so maybe we can, maybe we can see a different side of everybody next season. And maybe a little happier. We'll see how Carlos like that. Okay, so again, make sure you subscribe, like this, share it, and I will catch y'all later.